We've got market gridlock on our hands. 39 out of the biggest 50 markets saw price increases in February. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Brief. And this week, I'm doing the scoop too. Crystal is out of the office. Sorry, my voice is a little struggling, but we're gonna get through this. Let's jump right into it. Hope you guys had a good week since last time I saw you. Anyways, let's jump into it. This week, I want to talk about inventory. What in the world is going on with inventory? Well, I can tell you inventory is not going up. It's not really going down. It's staying flat. Let's go through the numbers. Here we go. We basically got 2382, 459 pending, 429 new listings. So we're just not getting the inventory, guys. Look at this. March of 2022, we had 2486, right? In listings. In March of 2023, we had 2250. So as I've been mentioning before, we're going down. Things are getting worse. What else is going on? Rates. Rates are up about 0.25% since last week. Why? Not really sure. The 10-year kind of sold off because we got, some good inflation numbers that are showing weakness and decline in inflation, which is good. Like jobs market's kind of like hanging on there. I know a lot of people are getting fired and all this stuff, but we're still showing job gains, job growth. And also keep in mind, remember, I've said this on many other videos, the servicing companies. So there's a 10-year treasury and then there's a 30-year fixed. That spread is about 1.8 usually. So from the 10-year, if it's 3.5, you'd add 1.8, that's your rate. But that spread is about 3% because the servicing companies, they know that you and I, we're gonna refi when the rates come down. And so if they need to make money and they need to hold loans for 3 to 5 years and they know you're gonna refi in 6 months, 8 months, a year, they're gonna lose their what? Yeah, their ass. And so they are tacking on a premium. So keep that in mind. What else is going on is inflation. Inflation reports over the last couple of weeks, we've shown CPI down. Everything is coming down. It is slower than we want, but it is coming down. So we got to remember, if inflation comes down, rates tend to come down, and also the Fed might start chilling out on the rate raises. So we'll see what they're going to do. But that is relaxing the Fed and everybody else because we don't want things to keep going like this because the Fed will not stop. They will put us into the ground and keep raising rates until basically it's so expensive to borrow. This whole thing is over. So they know it's coming. Also, people are talking about that recession that's out there. Is there a recession? Soft landing, hard landing, no landing. Nobody knows, guys, but there's so much talk about it. And obviously the stock market, the bond market, the treasury market, all these markets are looking at that. And that's why you're seeing pricing go up and down. We've also got some new reports out this week of, we're getting the first quarter earnings reports, right? So some are mixed, some are good, some are bad. Some banks are doing good. Chase is up, Goldman's doing bad. So you're going to see a mixed bag. Rates are going to be up and down. The stock market's going to be up and down. So if you like your rate, it looks good, then lock it in and get it. So as I mentioned before, 39 out of 50 markets saw an increase in February. But keep in mind, 48 out of 50 markets saw a decrease. That's insane. So from November, when the rates were high, people were trying to get these crazy prices. We saw a decrease in values. Then we went to stable, and now we're starting to see an increase. It's really impacting the market. Why is that? Inventory is low and rates drop. $9.3 trillion is still available in tappable equity compared to the $13 trillion in Q2 of 2022. But let's go back to 2005. That was the peak of the market, if you didn't know, and we were only at $4.9 trillion of tappable equity. That is the difference. And remember, we thought then prices are never going to go over that. When the market crashed, we're never going to get back to 2005. We'll never see these prices again. Guys, we surpassed it so much. Also this week, let's jump into commercial for the scoop. What is going on in the commercial market? You guys are hearing the doom and gloom in real estate is just all over the place. It's commercial. It's in the banking. But before SVP, guys, lending was slowing down. CMBS was slowing down. If you don't know what that is, look it up. The commercial market was slowing down because of financing. Rates went double where they were. Construction loans weren't making sense. Buying deals weren't making sense. Now what's happening? So what happened is a lot of people, whether they're smart or not smart or whoever it is, they went out and bought properties, raised money, syndicated funds, whatever it is, and they went out and bought a lot of properties. We're hearing about a story in Houston, right? One of these syndicators went out there, bought 3,200 units, leveraged to 80%, most likely a bridge loan or an adjustable loan. And what happened? The rate probably went from 3 to 6 to 8. And this guy cannot make the mortgage payments. He can't go back to his investors and raise money. So what he's going to do, you can have this back, giving 3,200 back to the bank because he cannot hold on to this property, and it's a loss for him and his investors. Why somebody else, I'm guessing, is going to come in, scoop it up, and they're going to win. What else is going on this week? And I want to talk about is the banks. So commercial market struggling. Are the banks pulling back? Are they moving forward? Of course they're pulling back, guys. They've got a microscope on them. All we're talking about is the banks. We're still talking about it. Even though it's not on every news feed and everybody's posting about it, it's still there. And the reality is the banks were pulling back last year. Now they're pulling back more. And what is that going to hurt? That's going to hurt construction lending. That's going to hurt multi-level lending. That's going to hurt office, retail, people that want to get an SBA loan, all this stuff. Rates are high. It makes less sense. Banks are pulling back. They know they made a bunch of loans, and maybe those loans people are going to pay, not pay. But the big number everybody's talking about is that 1.5 trillion that has to get refinanced by beginning of 2025. Nobody knows, are the rates going to be down? We're going to do it. Is the government going to come in and save the day? Is the private sector going to handle it? The bank's going to handle it? Guys, we don't know. It's all speculation, but at some point we're going to have to deal with that issue. Not all markets are the same. We're not. We're not all the same. So what are you going to see? You're going to see inventory. You're going to see rates. You're going to see demand. It might all be like different in every market. I was, just had a mastermind this weekend, and somebody said Phoenix had a lot more listings than I knew they had. San Diego here, we're at all-time low. So other markets are on all-time high, but they have more listings, which is good for buyers, but that might be a softening of the market. So look, supply, demand, interest rates really affect how the market's going to recover in there. And everybody, as we move forward 6 months, 8 months, a year, or 2 years out, we're going to look back and say, who did the best, who did the worst, who did okay. And we're going to see what markets have issues, regardless of rates, inventory, and all that. Even if we have the same rates as we move forward and a lot of demand, inventory levels are going to change. If San Diego never gets that inventory, guess what? We're always going to have a problem here. We always have a problem with inventory, right? Circling back to the residential loan servicing, right? So I want to jump into that. So what's going on there? And Kenny, what does this matter? Why do you want to talk about it? Here's the deal, guys. The servicing companies, the government went to them, right? Fannie, Freddie, all these places. And they said, hey, look, when COVID hit, when the pandemic hit, they said, we don't want everybody to be late. We all, 20 million plus people lost their job. We need to work with them. Fannie, Freddie, FHA, all that's like, hey, look, we'll let them miss the payments, do forbearance, put it on the back of the loan, whatever it is, loan audit. They didn't want a foreclosure, short sale crisis, but they really don't want to ruin people's credit. If you ruin my credit, your credit, what are we? We're not a consumer. And consuming is done 80% by debt. If you didn't know that. So what's happening now is the servicing companies thought, hey, this COVID pandemic thing is going to come to an end. But Fannie and Freddie, CFPB are like, no, we want to extend it. So it's not going to be as easy as what before, but what you're going to see is they're going to try to work with people that might lost a job or having issues, give them forbearance, doing loan mod, whatever. But the issue is the private sector, is the portfolio lenders going to do this? Or the private sector that securitize those loans in the secondary market, like non-QM or bank statement loans or DSCR loans, are they going to be able to do that? We just don't know. But that servicing company, so far, they're doing okay. There's a recent article written that they're doing okay. A lot of people are not missing payments. They're working with them. So if they do the loan mods and the workouts and things like that, that inventory will not hit the market. They'll work with people. And also, if you cannot make your payment and you have to foreclose, you have to short sale, most likely, depends when you bought and refied, you have equity. So somebody might even come in and just assume that VA loan or FHA loan and get you out of your deal, right? So we don't know what's going to happen here, but we got to keep in mind of every state, every city, every market's going to be different in how we recover and how we come out of that, especially the job market and things like that. Last but not least, look, this market is crazy, right? There's just inventory is all over the place, all over different markets. It's just not coming. So what do? If you wait for rates to drop and the inventory doesn't come up, we're going to have a problem. And when I say rates drop, I'm not talking going, from the sixes to freaking 3%. I'm talking the conventional loan is at 5%, right? Maybe high fours. You're going to see so many people come off the sideline to refi, cash out refi, pay off some private money loans, pay off those high loans they got, do those, VA IRRRLs, FHA streamlines. But also you're going to see all those buyers come off the sideline because affordability. But I don't think they understand that $650,000 condo here in San Diego, when you get all that demand, is going to go to $750,000. It's not going to go there just naturally. It's going to go because, Mary, Joe, and Bob are going to be willing to pay more. And then it's going to go $650,000 to $675,000 to $700,000. We're already seeing that. It's slowly creeping up. You drop those rates, drop the payments, people just start paying more. Yeah, and guys, people have money. They have good credit. They have jobs. People are in a much better position. I remember now than coming out of the 2008 crash. Trust me. There's so many people have cash on the sidelines that made money. They're sitting on it. They're investing it. Hell, they're just sticking it in the money market accounts or a 6-month treasury bill earning 4 or 5%. Some of these places are paying 6, 7%. So much money on the sidelines, sitting there waiting to come in.